Good afternoon, everyone. We are the Group 11 reporters. This afternoon, we are going to talk about Chapter 11, which is the Western Women's Movement. But before that, I have a question. Do you have any idea on where does liberation begin? None? Alright, let's proceed. Miss Pala, please read.
The women's movement highlights the ongoing structural inequality women face despite some believing gender equality is already achieved. Misunderstandings about feminism is often fueled by social media, ignoring its historical context. This chapter introduced the global and Philippines women's movement, emphasizing its continued relevance and evolving concerns.
Alright, thank you, Ms. Tata. The origin of women's oppression often feel distant from our current experiences. When thinking of women's history, the global women's movement stands out for exposing structural inequalities and identifying women as oppressed group. Though different from the Philippine women's movement, it still contributes to shaping to today's global gender gap. Many university students who are influenced by social media and pop culture believe that gender equality has already been achieved. Some even view feminism as an outdated or overly sensitive. Professors may argue that gender-specific rights are unnecessary, assuming women now are full freedom. However, as previous chapters show, power imbalances based on gender roles persist and are often limiting. Social media can misrepresent feminism and without a grasp on its history, lacks often depth. So to address the struggles in gender effectively, we must understand its history. Alright, so for example, questions like, have gender equality always existed? Were men and women even truly equal? Or how today's concerns compare to those of the past? So, while the women's movement has made progress, we must revisit its history, locally and globally, to fully understand the state of women and the gender issues. So this chapter introduces that journey. Now let's proceed with what is feminism. So we all know that feminism, it talks about women, it talks about the roles of a girl, a woman, and women, right? So I'll be giving you the full description or the full definition of feminism based on our report. Ms. Obinita, please read.
Feminism is the perspective that focuses on women's operation and seeks gender equality. Rooted in Western ideas of liberal democracy, it has evolved through three waves, each addressing different aspects of women's liberation. The chapter discusses the history of feminism in the West and sets the stage for comparing it with the Philippine women's movement.
Alright, thank you. So, it was clearly stated there that it is a way of understanding the world from a woman's point of view, shaped by how society defines womanhood. It responds to the unequal and patriarchal structures in society, aiming to achieve gender equality and end women's oppression. Rooted in Western liberal ideas or ideas of equal rights, feminism gained popularity through the efforts of educated women, Mr. Maniago, and developed through three major historical waves. So afterwards, we're going to know what are those three historical waves. So let's proceed with the Western women's movement, a brief history. Mr. Yago, please read.
The Western women's movement developed in waves. The first wave focused on women's suffrage, the second on reproductive balance and gender roles, and the third on intersectionality and global struggles. This progression influenced feminist movements worldwide, including in the Philippines. Although the third wave ended in the 1990s, the movement continues to evolve.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Maniaco. The Western women's movement is commonly described in waves, each representing a surge in feminist activism focused on specific issues. So these waves will be discussed later one by one. And these waves not only shaped feminism in the West, but also influenced feminist movement in other parts of the world, including ours, including the Philippines. Although the wave framework traditionally ends in the 1990s, feminist thought and activism continue to evolve today. So do you understand? Alright, let's proceed with the first wave of feminism, which is the women and civil rights. Ms. De Jesus, please read.
The first wave of the women's movement, late 18th to early 20th century, focused on equality and voting rights. Thinkers like Olympia D. Gudges and Mary Wollstonecraft challenged gender norms through influential texts advocating for women's rights and education. D. Gudges wrote the Declaration of the Rights of Woman, and Wollstonecraft penned a Vindication of the Rights of Women. Friedrich Engels linked women's oppression to property and patriarchy, though these pioneers didn't witness the impact of their work. They laid the groundwork for future feminist movements.
Alright, thank you, Ms. De Jesus. The first wave of feminism, also known as liberal feminism, began in the late 18th century and focused on women's equality with men, especially in rights and education. So it was inspired by liberal thinkers, women like Olympia de Gauges and Mary Wollstonecraft. So those are the liberal thinkers that inspired the first wave of feminism. So they demanded equal rights, including the right to vote, the right to suffrage, and to be educated. So their writings laid the foundation for modern feminist thought. This wave highlighted how women were excluded from rights granted to men, especially during the French Revolution. So Friedrich Engels later added more such view, linking women's oppression to property, marriage, and social control, which still affects women today. So that was the first wave of feminism. Now let's proceed with women and the anti-slavery movement, which is under the first wave. Ms. Alibo, please read.
Women and anti-slavery movement. The women's liberation movement in the West was closely tied to the anti-slavery movement, as both challenged being treated as property. In the 19th century, upper-class women supported slave and emancipation but were often excluded from payrolls. At the 1840 Anti-Slavery Convention, Victoria Mott and Elizabeth Cady Stanton were sidelined, which made them see the parallels between slavery and women's oppression. This experience helped spark a women's rights movement.
Thank you, Ms. Alibo. So, the women's liberation movement in the Western world was closely tied to the anti-slavery movement, as both groups were seen and treated as property. So in the mid-19th century, many upper-class women joined the fight to end the slavery. But they were often excluded from important roles. A key moment was the 1840 World Anti-Slavery Convention in London, where women like Lucretia Mott and Elizabeth Cady Stanton were made to sit behind curtains, barred from participating. So they're not allowed to participate in the fight. So this exclusion made them the oppression of women and slaves, inspiring them to start advocating for women's rights and sparking for women's or early women's rights movement. So now let's proceed with the women and the right to vote or the right to suffrage. Yes, Miss Dalupinis, please read.
The first wave of the women's movement fought for voting rights, education, and equal opportunities. The 1848 Seneca Falls Convention produced a declaration on sentiments, highlighting suffrage as a key issue. The movement faced controversy, especially regarding the inclusion of illiterate and women of color, but gained support from black abolitionists. By 1920s, women won the right to vote and the movement branched into other causes, still rooted in the fight for gender equality.
Alright, thank you, Ms. Talopines. The fight for women's right to vote was a key part of the first wave of feminism. So women, they are long confined to domestic roles and excluded from public decision making. They began demanding equal rights in voting, education, work, and expression. So the 1848 Seneca Falls Convention marked a turning point leading to the suffrage movement. So through controversial, especially over whether uneducated or non-white women should vote. So black women like Suhor Northrop Truth, still supported by the 1920s, upper class women gained voting rights and the movement branched into another struggles like labor and education. So overall, this wave focused on achieving equality with men through liberal political ideas. So that was all about the first wave of feminism. So now let's proceed with the second wave of feminism and women's liberation. So, Mr. Samako, please read.
The second wave of feminism and women's liberation. The second wave of feminism in the 1960s and 1970s focused on transforming patriarchal systems and addressing deeper social constructs of womanhood. Influenced by works like The Feminine Mystique, it sought not just equality but liberation for marginalized groups, including Black, Latina, and lesbian women, challenging both societal rules and institutional operation.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Samako. So the second wave of feminism emerged in the 1960s to 1970s. So just take down notes for that. So it focuses not just legal equality but also in deeper issues like, do you have any idea? Like of course, first there is the gender, of course identity, roles and systematic oppression. So although women had gained the right to vote, they were still treated as second-class citizens, especially Black, Latina, and lesbian women. So influenced by liberation, Friedan, or yes, liberation movements, and thinkers like Betty Friedan, this wave challenged patriarchy and the social expectations placed on women. So it means that in the second class, or the second wave of feminism class, women have the right to vote. But they were still treated as second-class citizens, especially those who belong to the Black, Latina, and the lesbian women. So there is still a discrimination happening during that time. So the third wave of feminism will be discussed by Ms. Obelita.
Good afternoon, everyone. Now let us proceed to the next topic, which is all about the theoretical roots in the second wave of feminism, which is the socialist feminism. Okay, class, do you have any idea what is socialist feminism? Not? Okay, please read Ms. Fata. What is a socialist feminism?
Socialist feminism was developed after Marxist feminism to address gaps found in Marxist theories. Unlike Marxist feminists, socialist feminists believe that women are oppressed in all aspects of their lives. Not only in the economic aspect, socialist feminism draws a different meaning from the Marxist idea of human productivity. One's productive activity is based on the sexual division of labor, which is determined by society and human nature.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Duna. So when we talk about socialist feminism class, it is a type of feminism that combines the ideas of Marxism, so which is focuses only on the class and economic inequality, with a fight against the gender oppression. Okay, did you understand, class? And also, socialist feminism class, these ideas shaped the feminist movement during the second wave happening in 1960s and 1980s. So specifically the branch of called which is called the socialist feminism. Ito ay isang pinagsamang ideya mula sa Marxist feminism at radical feminism na kung saan ito ay nagbibigay diin sa kabuuang karanasan ng kababaihan mula sa ekonomiya, tahanan, at lipunan. Okay, sino ba makapagbigay ng mga halimbawa sa mga kaganapan ng socialist feminism noon, class? Okay, Mr. Maniago. Okay, maraming salamat. Halimbawa noon ng mga pangyayari sa mga kababaihan. Halimbawa, sila ay nagtatrabaho sa mga industrial revolution. Halimbawa, nagtatrabaho sa isang pabrika. Sila ay nagtatrabaho ng binibigyan ng mas mababang sahod kaysa mga lalaki. Pero kung atin kumpara ngayon ay marami ng mga kababaihan ang may mga profesyon. Nagiging doktor, nagiging guro, nagiging nurse, at marami pang ibang klase ng profesyon na kung saan sila rin ay kadalasang nag-aalaga ng kanilang mga bata, nag-aalaga ng kanilang mga anak, asawa, kahit walang sahod. Inaintindihan lang ba? Okay, maraming salamat. Ngayon ay dumako na tayo sa ikalawa. Ito ay ang theoretical roots in the second wave of feminism, radical feminism. Ms. Alibo, can you read?
The civil rights movement in the U.S. inspired another form of feminism that is grounded on structural change. This feminist perspective, known as radical feminism, sought to ensure that women's differences from men were recognized and celebrated.
Pag sinasabi naman natin radical feminism class, ito ay ang pangunahing layunin nito ay ang kailangang magkaroon ng radical o structural na pagbabago sa ating lipunan. Okay, isa sa mga layunin nito ay ang kilalanin, ipaglaban at ipagdiwang ang pagkakaiba ng mga kababaihan sa kalalakihan. Okay, halimbawa nito noong 1970s movement of women's reproductive rights. So, ang mga radical na feminist ay lumalaban para sa karapatan sa abortion at kontrol sa sariling katawan. Laban para sa mga reproductive and bodily autonomy. Okay, sa ilang bansa ngayon, may mga kilusan pa rin para sa karapatang magdesisyon sa sariling katawan. Lalo na kung ito ay pinipigilan ng relihiyon o gobyerno na kung saan ang abortion o pamimiglaning. Okay, naintindihan lang ba kung ano ang kaganapan noon sa radical feminism class?
Opo.
Okay, ngayon ay dumapa tayo sa ikatlo ay ang patriarchy as the root of inequality. So, many second wave feminists focus on analyzing the structural roots of inequality in society. So, this generation of feminists believe that women are forced into roles not because of their natural inclination, but because patriarchal systems condition them to adapt to certain roles. So, pag sinasabi naman natin patriarchy as the root of inequality class, ito ay ang patriarcha na kung saan ito ay ang sistemang panlipunan ng mga lalaki na may mga pangunahing kapangyarihan sa politika, ekonomiya, pamilya at kultura. Kasi noon class, ito ay isang patakaran o hakbang na nagbibigay ng mga prioridad, nagbibigay ng mas malaking oportunidad sa mga tao, ng mga taong hindi pantay ang kanilang kalagayan. Kaya napakahalaga ito sa mga tulad ng sa mga babae noon dahil sa kanilang mga karanasan na hindi pantay ang kanilang mga pagtrato. Okay, naiintindihan lang ba, class?
Opo.
Okay. Next, we have the call for affirmative action. Can you read, Ms. Kadayuna?
The second wave of the women's movement focused on redefining the meaning of women in society by restoring the struggle for genuine gender equality. Inequality was addressed during this time through various efforts, one of which was affirmative action. Affirmative action meant a deliberate preferential option for women in order to have equal opportunity in a certain field.
Okay, do you have any idea, Miss Talubrinis? Okay, thank you so much. So when we talk about affirmative action class, ito ay tungkol sa mga hakbang o patakaran na kung saan ito ay nagbibigay ng prioridad o mas malaking oportunidad para sa mga taong hindi nabigyan ng patas na pagtrato. Agay na lamang ng mga kababaihan natin noon. Dito nagsimula ang mas malawakang pagsusuri na sa kung paano tinitingnan at tinatrato ang kababaihan sa lipunan. Halimbawa noon, pagkuha ng kababaihan sa mga trabaho, dati ay para lamang sa lalaki. Pagpasok ng mga babae sa larangan ng engineering, medicine at law. Noon, bihira silang tatanggapin sa mga kursong ito. Tama ba? Okay. Pero ngayon, may mga corporate at academic hiring na. May mga kumpanya at universidad na nagbibigay ng priority sa mga kursong ito. Okay. Mayroon pa ba kayong ibang katanungan tungkol sa affirmative action class?
Wala po.
Ngayon ay dumako na tayo sa maaari pang basahin, pinipiling De Jesus and other feminisms.
The second wave of feminism began to spread its influence worldwide, although it was criticized for focusing too much on the interests of Western women. Second wave feminism was also marked by the division between women from the first world and women from developing countries.
Okay, ang kilusang ito ay mas nakatuon sa karanasan ng mga babae mula sa Western. Halimbawa, Eurocentric or Western-centric na mas binigyang pansin ang mga isyong tulad ng reproductive rights or sexual liberation and career advancement na hindi naging prioridad ang mga kababaihan sa mga developing countries. Okay, naintindihan ng ba, class?
Yes.
Okay, now let's proceed to the third wave of feminism. Mr. Joshua, can you read?
The 1990s brought about the recognition of the different oppressions women face around the globe. The rise of communism and the new global order, along with biomedical and technological advances, shaped the issues of this era. According to the book of Leslie Haywood and Jenny Frederick, third wave agenda post-feminism sought to critique previous feminisms with gender and society regard to what work had yet to be done.
So, ang third wave of feminism class, ito ay tumututok sa mga pagkakaiba-iba ng mga karanasan o ang kalagayan ng mga babae noon. Okay? Ang third wave of feminism class, ito ay mas diverse, inclusive at global. Mas personal, mas digital at mas intersectional ang kilos ng feminism sa panahon ito. Kaya ayon sa kanila, sa post-feminism ay isang kritikal na pagsusuri sa mga naunang anyo ng feminismo, lalo na sa second wave, hindi upang itakwil ito, kundi upang itanong kung ano pa ang kailangang gawin upang makamit ang tunay na kapangyarihan. Okay. Next. The last one is for summing up the Western feminist movement. Okay, can we read Ms. Cabusog?
A brief history of the Western feminist movement is presented to show the various strides that women have made in recent history. Various kinds of feminism with different viewpoints and priorities emerged depending on the needs of women at that time.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Cabusog. So, for summing up the Western feminist movement class, first we have the wave feminism for socialist movement. Second, we have the second wave of feminism for radical feminism. So, in first wave feminism class, happening late 18th century to 1900th century. Tumutok sa legal na karapatang bumuto, karapatang magmamayari ng mga ari-arian at ang makapag-aral, pagdulis babae bilang legal na mamamayan. Sa second wave of feminism naman class, ito ay ang tumutok sa social, reproductive at economic intersectionality. At ang third wave of feminism naman, class, ay ang tumutok sa diversity, identity, intersectionality, na kung saan mas personal, mas global, ang pinikilalang iba't ibang anyo ng karanasan ng kababaihan. Okay, may mga katanungan na ba kayo, class? Wala na po. Kung wala na, at yun lamang po ang aking pag-uulat sa